Hello friends. On May 20th, Huami Amazfit just released the new product, Balance 2. I haven't had much time with it, just a week, but fortunately, Balance 2 is a regular upgrade product. I am also a long-term user of Huami's T-Rex 3 and Active 2, so I can quickly report some hands-on experience with Balance 2 to provide a bit of reference for friends planning to purchase it. As usual, let's start by looking at the appearance. Let's start by looking at the packaging box. And this time, Huami Balance 2 has switched to a brand new rectangular packaging box. The watch itself uses a 47mm dial paired with a 1.5-inch OLED screen with a super high screen-to-body ratio. The screen color and display delicacy are both very high, with a maximum brightness of 2000 nits. The front is made of sapphire glass. The previous generation Balance often had complaints about the screen being easily scratched, but this time it is fully equipped. Around it is a subtly deep blue design dial. The color is very dark and can be easily overlooked if not looked at closely. Delicate but not flashy. I quite like it. The side features Huami's latest dual button design, with the upper button supporting a rotating crown, and the lower button is a rectangular one with a touch of red sporty decoration. The smoothness of the rotating crown is great. Another detail is that this time, the Huami Balance 2 has 2 levels of vibration feedback adjustment. I usually set it to stronger vibration reminders, the enhanced mode, and the vibration feels great and powerful. Previously, when I was using the Suunto Run, I would complain with some users that the motor vibration feedback of the Suunto Run was a bit weak. Later, Suunto's feedback to me was that some users just prefer a weaker touch. My view is that you should give the choice to the user, like what Huami does, which is excellent. You can have a good vibration motor and also allow users to manually adjust the vibration intensity according to their needs. The watch body is made of titanium gray metal, and the texture is quite good. Turning it over, there is the latest Huami Dual 5-channel PPG heart rate module, the same as the one in the T-Rex 3. Previously, we conducted a very detailed test on the T-Rex 3, and there were no issues with accuracy. Take a look at both sides of the watch. 2 speakers have been added. This is my first time seeing a dual speaker design in a sports watch. Of course, I wouldn't use it to listen to music, although the sound is okay. Listen to music. But for daily use, I use it for listening to workout voice reports and making Bluetooth calls, and it's extremely clear. The sound is quite powerful. The watch comes with a 22mm quick-release silicone strap. It is a black strap, but it is slightly different from the previous Huami straps. Although it is a silicone strap, the surface has a leather-like texture design. Besides this black strap, the Balance 2 is indeed quite considerate this time. Let's open it up and show you. Comes standard with 2 straps, avoiding choice paralysis. And there's also a silicone strap. It is flame red in color, and everyone can choose according to their preference. This time, the Huami Balance 2 is also updated with the same magnetic charging port as the T-Rex 3. Previously, I shared that the magnetic strength is great. This time, the battery capacity of the Huami Balance 2 is increased by nearly 200 mAh compared to the previous generation, with a daily usage battery life of 21 days. After I received it, I charged it once. Huami allows you to check your battery status at any time. We found the power source, and it has a battery management section where you can clearly see information like the date since the last charge. At the time, I was quite busy, so I didn't fully charge it, just up to about 96%. It now shows that it has been 8 days since my last charge. Calculating 96% and 37%, the difference is about 50% or roughly half the battery life. If conserving, its endurance is around 16 days. Of course, my usage scenario might be slightly heavier than most, as I have been continuously testing and filming videos with the product since getting it. Even with moderate use, slightly less than the officially claimed 21 days of battery life, 16 to 18 days is still sufficient. Whether you use it daily, or for running marathons, or triathlons, or going out for hiking adventures, it is generally sufficient. Now that we've covered the appearance, let's talk about the functionality, focusing on 3 points: intelligence, sports performance, and health monitoring. As for intelligence, my consistent evaluation of Huami is the closest experience to a traditional smartwatch in a professional sports watch. If you only look at the appearance, you will find that the design of the Huami Balance is very similar to Huawei's GT series, Vivo's Grip series, and Oppo's Grip series. After all, Huami initially did OEM work for Xiaomi and has experience cooperating with mobile phone manufacturers, so the tradition that follows is close to the experience of a smartwatch. The responsiveness of the rotating crown, as well as various mini-apps, message reminders, voice memos, and phone finder. There's also viewing the date each day, alarms, calendars, and so on, all very complete. Various message notifications are very timely, supporting voice calls, checking weather, memos, and so on. The watch supports dual wireless payment functions with Alipay, and WeChat. If you are familiar with Huawei and Vivo smartwatches, you might think these features aren't special, but if you've been focused on sports watches for a long time, you'll find achieving these smart features is quite challenging. For example, encryption, any product line. So recently, the only available devices that support the health management feature of making calls are the encrypted Phoenix 8, the new encrypted 570 series, and the 970 series. The prices of these watches are generally 4,000 to 5,000 and above. And in addition, after so long, neither Koshi nor Sunto currently offers a sport watch that supports Bluetooth calling. Huami, after all, is a professional sports manufacturer, and in terms of quality and ease of use, it is likely superior to GME, Koshi, and Sunto. Of course, if we look at it from the perspective of its positioning as a sports watch, we still need to discuss its sports functions. The first is the watch's positioning, as it uses the industry's latest dual-frequency multi-satellite positioning system. Whether it's the earlier Huami Balance generation or the Huami T-Rex 3 that we previously performed a moderate test on, we have tested in detail the tracking, pace, and other experiences. This time, I apologize to everyone, I haven't had the chance to take the Balance 2 for a run. One reason is that there have been many new products recently, and I've been busy with unboxings. The second reason is I have a bit of a lower back strain lately. However, I believe, based on Huami's previous positioning performance, the updated Balance 2 is definitely at the top tier level. In terms of running, the watch supports various training modes, including 3 km, 5 km, half marathon, and full marathon running plans. It can also provide you with stride frequency, vertical oscillation, ground contact time, running power, and other running data. After all, since Chairman Wu Xiangdong could use the first generation Balance for the Paris Marathon, I believe the brand new Balance 2 will certainly suffice for you as well. Apart from some of the sports modes we commonly use, such as outdoor running, walking, cycling, and so on, I am quite satisfied with Huami's strength training feature. It allows you to set training templates yourself. For example, I personally use a 6688 road workout, which I tailor to my available fitness equipment. At home, I have dumbbells, a pull-up bar, and a yoga mat. Based on the equipment I have, I customize some workout plans according to my own situation, mainly including arm plank, standing dumbbell press, dumbbell row, and so on. Then, the watch can estimate your muscle heat map, clearly showing which muscles you've recently been working on based on your movements. If you are a heavy outdoor user, this time the Balance 2 also has a significant upgrade in terms of memory, supporting offline topographic maps. This time, the Balance 2's memory has directly reached 32 gigabytes, which is 8 times more than the previous generation Balance. So whether you're downloading maps, importing courses, music, or workout tracks, you can use it with confidence. But when I previously went running outdoors or hiking, I could import some of the tracks I frequently use. For example, this year, I went to Moban Mountain for a trail race track. Here, you can directly use the route for navigation, or you can view the route preview and elevation preview, including the total accumulated elevation gain of this segment. This time, in addition to the usual updates to sports modes, the new Balance 2 has added 2 important features. The first is a golf feature which can download maps of nearby golf courses. Another new feature is the diving function, supporting free diving up to 45 meters.
Support outdoor free diving and indoor free diving.
I should say it's on the same level as the T-Rex 3. I can't use these 2 functions, but if there are knowledgeable friends, they can discuss it in the comments section. However, we can clearly see that this time, the Balance 2 has upgrades in map expansion and the watch's waterproof rating. Let's stop here regarding sports. Closely related to sports are the health monitoring features of the watch. The watch supports all-day heart rate, blood oxygen, stress, and sleep monitoring, including long-term tracking of your HRV status. We've already looked at the back. It's Huami's latest dual light 5-channel optical heart rate module, which performs very accurately on the T-Rex 3, allowing for continuous heart rate and blood oxygen measurement. The watch also supports one-click measurement of your physical condition. In fact, my favorite metric is Huami's original body and mind readiness, which is a function that combines a series of indicators measured by the watch to form a value. Because the watch measures your heart rate, blood oxygen, sleep, stress, etc. These indicators are not isolated. And through its own calculations, Huami has innovated with the Body and Mind Readiness Index, allowing you to clearly see your current physical and mental condition through a numerical value. This feature is really great and is the first indicator I pay attention to every morning when I wake up with the Huami watch. If I have rested well and my exercise status is good, it reflects that clearly. Otherwise, it does the opposite. Compared to Garmin, this feature is very close to Garmin's body battery and training readiness level. These familiar indicators from Garmin are very well known. Huami has also made its own innovations in health monitoring, helping users understand their bodies more intuitively. At the same time, the watch will also provide you with a personalized fitness coach based on your physical condition. For example, today I have a training plan, which is 11 minutes with an average heart rate of 140. When you open it during your exercise, it will constantly remind you of today's training completion level. Recently available models with personalized features and core functionality include the encrypted Phoenix 8, the new encrypted 570 series, and the 970 series. These watches are generally priced upward of 4,000 or 5,000. Additionally, after developing for so long, Koshi and Suntuo currently do not have sports watches that support Bluetooth calling. Huami, after all, is a professional sports brand, but in terms of quality and ease of use, it should outclass Koshi, Encryption, and Suntuo. Of course, if we look at it from the perspective of its positioning as a sports watch, we still need to discuss its sports functions. The first one is the watch's positioning. This watch uses the latest dual-frequency multi-satellite positioning system in the industry. Whether it's the previous Amazfit Balance first generation or the Amazfit T-Rex 3, which we previously conducted moderate testing on, we've thoroughly tested tracking and pacing experiences. This time I apologize to everyone as I haven't had the chance to take the Balance 2 for a run yet. One reason is that there have indeed been many new products recently and I've been busy with unboxing. Second, I've had a slight back sprain recently, but I believe, based on Huami's previous positioning performance, that the updated Balance 2 is definitely at the top tier level. In terms of running, the watch supports multiple training modes, including running plans for 3 kilometers, 5 kilometers, half marathon, and full marathon. It can also provide you with various running data such as cadence, vertical oscillation, ground contact time, and running power. Since Zhondong Wu could use the Balance 1 to run the Paris Marathon, I believe the all-new Balance 2 will certainly suffice for you, in addition to some commonly used sports modes, such as outdoor running, walking, cycling, and so on. What I am quite satisfied with is Huami's strength training function, which allows you to set your own training templates. For instance, let me talk about a device I'm using, a recording pen. Based on the fitness equipment I have, like dumbbells, a pull-up bar, and a yoga mat, I tailored some workout plans to my situation, mainly including arm swings, plank, standing dumbbell press, and dumbbell rowing, among others. Then, the watch can estimate your muscle heat map, allowing you to see at a glance which muscles you have been working on recently based on your movements. If you are a heavy outdoor user, this time the Balance 4 has a significant upgrade in terms of memory, and it supports offline topographic maps. This time the Balance 4, its memory has reached 32 gigabytes, which is 8 times more than the previous Balance version. So whether you are downloading maps, importing courses, importing music, or importing exercise tracks, you can use it with confidence. When I used to run outdoors and hike, I could import some of the tracks I often use. For example, a trail from a race I participated in this year at Mofanshan. You can directly use the route for navigation as well as preview the route and elevation, including the total cumulative elevation gain of this route. Apart from the routine updates to the sports modes, the new Balance 2 has added 2 significant features. The first one is the golf feature, which allows you to download maps of nearby golf courses. Another feature is the newly added diving function on the watch, supporting free diving up to 45 meters.
Supports outdoor free diving and indoor free diving.
It should be said that it is at the same level as the T-Rex 3. I don't use either of these functions, but if knowledgeable friends want to discuss it, they can do so in the comments. However, we can say clearly that this time the Balance 2 has upgrades in map expansion and the watch's water resistance level. Let's just stop here regarding sports. Closely related to sports are the health monitoring functions of the watch. The watch supports round-the-clock monitoring of heart rate, blood oxygen, stress, and sleep, including long-term tracking of your HRV status. We have already looked at the back, featuring Huami's latest dual-light 5-channel optical heart rate module, which performs very accurately on the T-Rex 3, allowing for continuous blood oxygen and heart rate measurement. The watch also supports one-click measurement of your physical condition. Actually, my favorite metric is Huami's unique physical and mental readiness. This feature synthesizes a series of measurements from the watch into a single value, as the watch measures your heart rate, blood oxygen, sleep, stress, and so on. These metrics are not isolated, and Huami uses its own calculations. Here, Huami has innovated the physical and mental readiness indicator, which allows you to clearly see your current physical and energy status through a numerical value. This feature is really great and is the first metric I look at each morning with my Huami watch. If I rest well and I'm in a good exercise state, it's reflected clearly. Otherwise, the opposite is shown clearly. Compared to Garmin, this feature is very similar to Garmin's body battery and training readiness level. These familiar metrics are already well known. Huami has also made its own innovations in health monitoring, helping users to understand their body more intuitively. At the same time, the watch will also provide you with a personalized fitness coach based on your physical condition. For example, today I have a training plan of 11 minutes with an average heart rate of 140.
If you open it during the workout, it will remind you in real time about today's training completion rate.